Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're talking about Seas of Havoc, and this is designed by Sebastian Berner Wong and Peter Gorniak. The art is by Betsy Zetro, and it will be published by Rock Manor Games.
All right, you guys, have you ever wanted to be a swash-buckling captain?
Aye, aye, Captain!
Roaming the seven seas, shooting cannons, taking advantage of shipwrecks, collecting booty.
That's all I got. I don't have anything more.
Well, this game might be for you. Let me show you how to play. All right, here is our setup for Seas of Havoc. This is kind of our main player area. Basically, what we have is around the edges, we have all these different islands that you can go to gather resources. That's kind of the worker placement section of the game. It's called the island phase. And then you have the sea phase, where in the middle here, in the deep blue ocean, that's where we're going to be sailing around. We've got all our resources over here. We've got some cards over here that you can buy from the market. We'll get to all that in a minute. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to populate the board. We have a 6x6 grid, and of course it's perfect for D6s. What we're going to do is we're going to put some islands out there, some rocks that we can possibly crash into. This is a 4-player game, so there's going to be 2 of them. Alright, so 1, 5. Do it again. 3, 3. And next up, we might encounter some shipwrecks. So we're going to start with one shipwreck out there. This is going to go over here. Shipwrecks are good things. Whenever you would pass through a shipwreck, you get to flip it over and take whatever resources are on it. So you can see you might have some sails there. You might have some coins. You might have some cannon shots as well. So all different kinds of resources you might encounter when you're exploring shipwrecks. So you do want to go explore those. Next, we're going to put ourselves out there. You get to choose the orientation. So, for instance, that green ship right there has the ability to kind of now, because of the orienting that way, or it's going to be able to get that shipwreck really easily. This is a pre-production copy, a preview copy, so some things are going to change. Everything is subject to change. The ships especially are supposed to be a little bit thicker, and they're going to be able to stand up like that. But for now, we just lie them down. It's a little easier to see that way. All right, we've got our 3 little skiffs over here. Those are kind of acts like our workers for the worker placement portion of the game. We're going to be able to place them on these little circles all over the board. And that's going to be able to give us our different resources and actions. For instance, we can go over here to the shipyard and we can get 2 of the sails and 1 cannonball. The cannonballs go right into our recessed board. There's a maximum you can hold there. And the sails, you just turn this dial to show that you've gained it. You've got the sail maker where you can just go get a whole bunch of sails. You've got the blacksmith where you can get a whole bunch of cannonballs. We've got the deep cove down here. This symbol right here, those kind of cards with the line through them, basically that is a way that you can kind of trash cards. They call it scrapping. When you trash cards from your hand, you actually get a chance to get the resources that you paid for that card. So that can be a really nice way to get some resources back, as well as get some cards that maybe don't fit your current strategy out of your deck. This is a deck building game, so I'll kind of get to all that in here in just a minute. I want to go through all the islands. All right, so next up we have the capital way over here. We've got this really nice first player token. If you go there, you take it from whoever currently has it, as well as you get 1 extra resource of your choice. We've got a bank, which gives you 1 of those gold coins, along with any resource of your choice. We've got the workshop. Workshop is where you can go to upgrade your ship. Every ship comes with 2 upgrades that aren't yet activated. You get to go there to activate them. And then once you have them activated, they're activated for the rest of the game. A trading post is a way you can kind of turn different goods into other goods. Let's say you really need cannonballs. All the cannonball spots are taken. Well, maybe you can turn some of your sails, your wheels, into cannonballs to satisfy what you need. Across the top, we have some of these really nice wooden flags, and there's also 1 spot at each one of them. So what you can do is you can go there, and you can take that flag. That flag is in front of you until someone else takes it from you, or you spend it. Right when you take it, you get an immediate benefit, like maybe drawing a card, trashing a card, getting another action immediately, getting a resource, something like that. But then later on in the game, once you have some of these cards, some of the cards that you can buy, you're going to go to the market to buy them, which I'll get to that in a second. But when you have them in your hand, there's this blue text at the very bottom of the card. And if you have that blue flag in front of you while you have this card and you're playing it, you can spend the blue flag to do whatever that says. It usually matches up with it. So like, for instance, the blue one says you may take another turn immediately, which can be really beneficial. All right, so finally, when you go to the market, there's 2 options you have. First of all, you can just claim a card. So you're going to put your little skiff on there as your worker to claim it. No one else can claim it this round. At the end during the cleanup phase of this, you're going to have to pay the resources at the top left. In this case, it's a coin. And then you add it into your hand. This is a deck building game. Usually in deck building games, you take the cards that you purchase and put them in your discard pile. This time, you're actually going to put it right in your hand, so you're immediately going to have the ability to use that during the upcoming sea phase, which is coming up right away. The cards can do all kinds of things, help you move around, turn your boats, fire cannons, kind of upgraded versions of all the things that are going to be in your starting decks, which again, I'll get to in just a moment. Alright, there are a ton of different ships. There's 6 ships in the game. Each one of the 6 ships has its own starting deck. Looks something like this. Basically has all the costs in the top left that you would get back when you scrap the card. And it has, the color of the ship beneath it and what it can do. In this case, this one's one that can shoot cannons. You have to spend a cannon, has a range of 3. Same with this card. This card allows your ship to go forward or go left or go right and turn. So all the things are in there in your starting deck like that. You also have 2 upgrades that are specific to your ship. We talked about, that's where you have to go to the workshop over here on the board. That's where you can actually activate these. The cost to activate them is on the left side of your card. This one, for instance, is 2 cannonballs and a coin. And this allows you to customize your ship. So now when you activate it, first of all, you're going to get some victory points. Skulls in this game are always good because it's a pirate game, right? It's victory points. And you're going to have a special ability that's just specific to your ship. This one says, instead of firing a normal cannon, you can instead fire a chain shot, which is a range of 2. After regular damage and scoring, ships hit by a chain shot also lose a resource of their choice. So this kind of has the additional punishment of making people lose resources. Or, the nimble hull allows you to kind of basically use flags again, which is really cool. So look in front of your ship, face side down, inactive side, so that way you pay for them to activate them. And again, each color of the ship has their own deck, their own starting abilities, all that kind of stuff. The next thing you choose is your captain. So there's 6 different captains in the game, and they're all different, and they all have special abilities as well. So when you choose your captain, let's say we choose the rebel, what we do is we put the rebel in our card spot there for the captain, and then there's 2 more cards that go along with the captain. What we're going to do with those, we're going to put them in our starting 6 cards that we have from our ship, and now we have a small little customized 8-card deck that's specific to the purple ship with the rebel captain. So these all different combinations you can make. There's a merchant, there's an admiral, there is a pirate queen, there is a corsair, the treasure seeker. So all different cards go along with each one of them. And again, you customize them with each different ship. So every time you play, you have a new configuration. Alright, so we're going to take our 8-card deck, we're going to shuffle it up, and we're going to draw 4 cards. So every hand we're going to have 4 cards. Alright, and that's what we're working with. What's tricky about this game is that there's a 6x6 grid, but because this is kind of like this magical high seas thing, the map actually wraps around on each other. So for instance, we have a card like this that says go forward 1 and then turn either left or right. Now we're the purple ship, so we're right here, and we're facing to the left here. What we're going to do is we're going to go forward 1, which puts us over there. And then we turn either left or right. So if we turned right, we would end up here. But if we turned left, we'd actually go all the way up here, facing that direction. Now, playing this game goes clockwise, so let's say the green player's next. They really want to get that shipwreck and get the resources they get from that, so they're going to go forward. And they get some resources based off whatever that says. That gets shuffled in. By the way, a new shipwreck comes out at the beginning of every of the island phases, so there's always more and more shipwrecks to check out. But now, we actually have an opportunity to shoot at that green player. So let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit for you so you can kind of see more clearly what's going on. This is like bad camera work that I'm doing here. Alright, so, when your ships, let's move it a little more there. When your ships are coming out of their side, that's where your cannons are going to shoot. Cannons don't shoot out of the front of these ships, they shoot out of the sides. So what's going to happen is, it's actually going to show you that on the card. Let's see if we can see this here. The card actually says, shoot the cannons this way, to your left or to your right. This particular one says you have to spend a cannonball, and then you have a range of 3, and it's going to shoot off to your left or to your right. So in this case, we're just going to shoot to our, I guess it'd be, whatever it is. Anyways, off the side there, starboard or something. We're going to hit that green player. The green player is going to take one of these damage cards. Damage cards are not good. You don't want these. This is a -1 victory point at the end of the game if it's still in your deck. You're going to have lots of chances to get rid of it, but still, this is kind of your punishment for getting hit. We, as the player doing the damage, you're going to get either 2 victory points if you hit them, side to side on their part where their cannons are. But if you hit them in either their front or the back of their ship, then you're actually going to get 3 victory points. So if you can kind of maneuver your way into doing that, you're going to get extra victory points. Eventually, you might come across some cards that have special abilities like this. This one says you can move and shoot at the same time, and even move extra if you spend extra sails. So this can be really, really effective. Set you up and then shoot and then get away at the same time. So that's a fun card. You always want to keep track of all your special abilities, your captain abilities. If you've upgraded your ship at all, keep track of those. Those are always kind of active throughout the whole round. You're going to keep on going back and forth until all players have ran out of cards. There might come a time where someone had a 3-card hand because they scrapped some things, and someone else has a 5-card hand because they drew some cards or were able to buy some cards. So it might not all be during the same round. But once every player has done passing, then we go back to the island phase, where we go back to the edges of the boards, we gather all our resources, do all kinds of stuff, and then we go back to the sea phase, where we battle it out over the high seas again. Now, those damage cards we talked about, those are those negative victory points. Basically, the game is going to end once that entire deck runs out. Once that runs out, we finish the round, we add up our victory points. Victory points are going to come from a variety of places. Most of the time throughout the game, you're going to be earning them when you're attacking. Some cards might give you some victory points as well, so you're going to be earning them as the game goes on. But then, at the end of the game, you're also going to add on any points that you've earned from cards that you've bought. So this one has 2 here on the left side. And you have your ship upgrades. Remember those skulls. This one gives you 3 victory points. And then, unfortunately, you have to take negatives for all the damage you still have in your deck. So at the end of all that, you accumulate your total. Whoever has the most victory points wins the game.
So this is a preview copy, and the artwork is phenomenal. Like, they're going to add a few things, but oh my gosh, I love what the artist did with this. It is wonderful and great, and I am here for it. I'm, like, invested in these ship captains. Like, I want to know their story. I want to know what's happening. I want there to be a graphic novel based on this. I'm, like, here for it. Artwork, fantastic.
And the bits were incredible too, but like even those are going to get better in the final copy. It's like, how could you get better? All right, this guy's game was all about the interaction of players on this board. It was all about, positioning yourself in a way that you could shoot cannons and score points. And I loved that. And it felt like there was no place that you could really hide because the board wrapped around itself. So if you sailed off the edge of the sea in one, you'd reappear on the other side. And same with cannons. You could shoot cannons off of one side of the board and have them reappear on the other side. And so I love that there was no place
to run away.
You can't run away. There was no place to hide. It was all with interaction, and the interaction was constant and fun too. It was just like just like cannon blasting fun. It was like laser tag with cannons.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun that way. And one of the things that I really liked about it is, so you're attacking people, right? But when you get attacked, sure, you get that damage card and it shuffles through. But, like, any card it's not like you lose a card, you lose a turn, or you can't do this with your ship now. You still have full access to all of your stuff. You are not out of the game. You're not out of the round. You can still do stuff. You still have a potential to come back and also damage them. And so I love that. I love that you're attacking people, but it's not affecting, and when they attack you, it's not affecting what you have the ability to do, right? And I just really, really admired that. And I really liked that when we played this game, we played with a lot of the characters and a lot of the ships because we just wanted to see how they were going to interact. And I felt like they all did a pretty good job. They're all fairly viable, right, of the different things that they did.
Yeah, I mean, I liked that because your starting deck was 6 cards that had to do with your ship, and they were specific to your ship. And then combined with that, you had picked a captain, and there was 2 cards that was specific to that captain. So your 8-card starting deck was customized to your setup, and every time you played, it was a different starting deck. Yeah. And on top of that, it's a classic deck builder in the terms of you're able to add in new cards constantly. You have the chance to trash some cards, scrap them they call it, and get rid of them and get some resources even, which is kind of fun, and make your own customized now new deck. So you had a customized deck to start with, and then you can even customize it even more, making yourself a lean, mean fighting machine.
Yeah.
Be really efficient with that.
Yeah. Basically, I'm really looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to people playing this game. I am looking forward to people talking about this game. I just had such a blast playing this. We played with Ryan's dad, and it was so much fun to just, like, move around the board and have him attack me and let Ryan win, which was just so much fun. But actually, it was, because, like I said, like, I never felt like I couldn't do what I wanted to do, right? And so even if I did that poorly, I was still able to do what I wanted to do, and other people could do what they wanted to do. It's not like you just can't do the game anymore because somebody attacks you. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
I have played a fair number of pirate-themed games, like a lot, actually, the more I think about it. And out of all of them, this gave me the most kind of that open sea, piratey sailing adventure vibe out of all of them. You felt like you were, going into the shores, gathering the supplies you needed, running back to the ship, sailing off on the open seas, and shooting other people, And then you repeat it all. You go back in the shores, you regather all your resources that you need, you go back out there and you sail around trying to avoid getting shot and shooting everybody at the same time.
Yeah.
It just gave me that really great adventure-y sailing feeling that I have not seen in a game in the same kind of way as this one. This was super unique and fun for me.
Yeah, Ryan was talking earlier about how, like, Jamaica, really, you're just, like, racing the whole time.
It's a linear path.
What kind of pirate are you?
You're just sailing in a linear path around the board. You have no options, really. This was an open seas board, which I thought was great.
It was so much fun. So make sure to look for this. It should be coming to Kickstarter soon. Until then, don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. You can find us on Facebook, we're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.